Hey, Bronco Nation, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Broncos. My name is Burke, and today we're discussing the game against Oklahoma State. So, first and foremost, this game is Saturday evening, 7 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 if you're watching from home. And this game is a home game on the blue, which is awesome because last time we played Oklahoma State in Stillwater, and we pretty much got our butts pounded. So today I'm going to be go ahead and discussing just some pregame information, and then I'll go ahead and give you my prediction on the outcome of this game. First, I want to talk about what's at stake here for this game because there's a few things at stake. Number one, we lost to UCF, which means Oklahoma State, besides BYU, Oklahoma State is one of the only teams left on our schedule that's going to help us build our resume, especially with that loss to UCF. That hurts. And if we have any hopes whatsoever of making it to a New Year's Six game, which right now is not looking good, but if we do have any hopes, we've got to beat Oklahoma State. That is an absolute gimme. So that's what's at stake for this game. Not to mention just the reputation that Boise State has, right? I mean, if we want to be invited to the Big 12, this is a game we're going to want to win. Guys, okay, there's been some talk about joining the Big 12. The Big 12 has publicly announced that it's possible and that they're looking at Boise State. So this is a game that we're going to want to win. Okay, we need to be able to prove to the Big 12 that we can beat teams in the Big 12. Otherwise, we're not a consideration. So that's what's at stake. Let's go ahead and take a look at their team real quick and see who they've got. So they actually have two quarterbacks that have played so far, and so let's take a look. We've got Shane Illingworth. So he's 6'6", 230 pounds. He started when the Cowboys played against Missouri State because their other quarterback, the starting quarterback, who is, pulling it up, Spencer Saunders. Saunders, I think, had COVID on their first game against Missouri State. So, but this Illingworth guy did great. I mean, his pass completion was only 55. He had 22 completions out of 40 attempts. But I think he had a fair number of rushing yards on there. If I can't find it right here, but he's a pretty decent rushing quarterback. But from what I've heard so far and what I've seen, the starting quarterback for this game for the Cowboys is going to be Spencer Saunders. He is a 6'1", 210-pound quarterback. And let's look at his stats. So he's completed in his one game that they played against, I can't remember who it was. We'll come back to that in a second. But in the one game that he played last week, let's see how well he did. So he had 15 out of 26 completions, which accounts for 57.7 completion rate. So that's honestly not that good. And he's passed for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's not great, but he's not horrible. And when I went back to the team stats, he is actually showing as the lead rusher for the Cowboys. This quarterback here, Spencer Saunders, he's showing as the lead rusher. So that's interesting. That sort of helps confirm that this guy is a dual threat. If he's the lead rusher for the team. The other running backs, so we have L.D. Brown and Jalen Warren. And they're each averaging 2.3 yards per carry. So that's not that great, which is good for us because Riley Wimpy, one of our lead linebackers, is going to be out half the game. The fact that these two running backs are only rushing 2.3 yards per carry actually helps me feel a little less stressed out about not having Wimpy in that first half. It looks like their running game isn't great, especially if your quarterback is your lead rusher. That does concern me, however, for catching up to these quarterbacks. Anytime you play a team with a good quarterback that can run the ball, that just wreaks havoc. Especially if you remember what's his face from Nevada years ago. You guys know who I'm talking about. Played for the Niners, but anyways, that dude was a nightmare. Even Zach Wilson for BYU was a nightmare because he could run and throw. So those pose threats. I don't think it's going to be a huge issue, though. Our defense is pretty good, and we've got some good outside linebackers. So not too worried about it. But for us, however, Bachmeier's going to be in again, and Shakir is showing up as active, and George Halani, that's another one. So he did not play against UCF, and I think the reason for that, and I don't know for sure, I'm just speculating here, I think the reason for that is he may have gotten sick with COVID and then missed some practices, and I think because he missed some practices, they had to sit him out. And then during the UTEP game, he only carried the ball 5 or 6 times, scored once, I believe. Yeah, he scored. But he was on a snap count. So that is no longer the case. He is fully active, ready to go. And I did hear some rumors that Stephon Cobbs might be injured. He's the dude that took that punt all the way back during the game against UTEP. So let's hope that he's okay. Hopefully, if he is injured, it's nothing serious and that he'll be back soon. That's if he is injured. These are just rumors that I've heard. I haven't been able to find anything that confirms that, but that is what I've heard. On to the actual predictions of the game. Let me show you first what ESPN thinks. This is according to ESPN's Football Power Index. So they've got Boise State predicted 66.1% to Oklahoma State 33.9%. That looks good to me. And I agree with that. I think that's a pretty fair matchup predictor right there. So let's talk about what the possible outcomes of this game are going to be. It doesn't look like Oklahoma State has a very solid offense, especially since they only scored, what was it? 23 points against Missouri State. Oh, and then last week they played Tulsa. They beat them 28-23. So they're not putting huge points. I mean, you'd think that playing Missouri State, you'd put up more than 23 points. So that leads me to believe that their offense probably isn't very good. So I'm hoping that defensively we'll be able to get lots of turnovers, sacks, things like that. And then as far as our offense, we have what it takes. It just really comes down to play calling. We already know, based on that UCF game, that play calling can sometimes be, not very good. We'll put it that way. I don't want to say anything derogatory, but not very good. And hopefully it's different this game because we have the weapons that it takes to put up high numbers. My concern is, and I'm relating back to the game from, 2018, 2019? I can't remember. I think it was 2018. Our offensive line just crumbled every time. We had sacks, interceptions. We had, and this is against us, right? Sacks against us, interceptions against us. We had punts that were blocked and returned in the end zone. I mean, it was a nightmare. So that does concern me because so far this year, our offensive line hasn't been great. The run game has been almost non-existent. So I do have some concerns. I mean, the run game showed up a little bit during UTEP, but that's UTEP that we're talking about. UTEP's a lot different than Oklahoma State, and that does concern me. However, knowing that their offense hasn't put up very many points, that leads me to believe that we've got this game. I do. I think we're going to win this game. I do think the offense struggles a little bit, especially with the run game. And I think we're going to be relying too much on the pass game. That's going to become predictable. And they're going to start targeting Shakir, and they're also going to start targeting Cobbs if he's in. So I do have some concerns there. Overall, I think Boise State wins this game 34-24. And if we score 4 times and a couple field goals. I think their offense scores, 2 or 3 times as well as a couple field goals. But I think Boise State has this one at least by 10 points, hopefully more. I think it actually could be more. But I'm going to go ahead and stick with 34-24 for now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am very interested to know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about the discussions that I had about our team. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. Again, I'm not a professional, guys. I'm just here to have a discussion, to speculate things and predict things. So if you think I'm wrong, let me know. And then don't forget to subscribe, guys. I have plenty more videos coming out. Depending on how well we do against Oklahoma State, we'll put it this way. If we do a horrible job and we lose, I'll put up a video and talk about what went wrong. If we do great and fantastic, I won't worry about it, right? I'll just let you guys celebrate. We also have a couple videos coming up on conference realignment. Okay, we know for a fact that the Big 12 has publicly announced that Boise State's on their radar. And recently, the American Athletic Conference has also publicly announced that Boise State is on their radar, as well as a number of Mountain West teams. So conference realignment is a big topic right now. So stay tuned for some more videos in the future. Let us know in the comments what you think about the game, and tune in next time.